you're buying an European car, you know you're building on a relationship of sorts. Now with BMW, that relationship is built because you love to drive. With Mercedes-Benz, it's because you love their timeless design and those curvy lines. And with Audis, it's because you like and admire sophisticated things. But then there is one brand that does things differently. Today we have with us the Volvo S90, which has been recently updated, and I'm going to see how it does.
Sorry, I'm going to cut you off there.
Hi Cyrus.
Hello Vipul, and first of all, welcome to the madhouse that is PowerDrift. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a companion for doing cars now. You said this is the new S90.
It is.
Right. I'm struggling, genuinely.
Okay.
You might have to tell me what's new because I know a little bit is new, but is it really an update? So, okay.
A few styling tweaks.
Tell me what's new.
Well, Cyrus is right. The updates are certainly subtle, so take that you'd have to be a bit of a fanboy to spot them. You get a refreshed grille, a slightly reworked bumper that flaunts a chunky chrome strip that also matches the newly added chrome strip on the rear. Tailpipes have been tucked underneath and, well, of course, I am new.
And as a bit of a starting out present, I have given him the rein to the car because normally you'd find me in the driver's seat there. But the S90 is a bit of a car that you should enjoy from the rear seat because a lot of the demographic that actually ends up buying this car does end up sitting in the back more than actually driving it. So I'm going to tell you later how the back seat is. But first let's talk about that big difference under the bonnet, which of course is that new petrol engine. So Vipul, specs obviously first, very briefly, and tell us what you think of it. Because I've been driving it for a while now.
All right.
But I want to know what you think of that engine.
Okay, so this is a 2-liter engine. Comes with a mild hybrid system of 48
Turbo
volt.
petrol, obviously.
Yeah, turbo petrol, 4-cylinder engine. Power figures are quite healthy for the kind of car that it is. 250 HP and 350 Nm of torque, and it's mated to an 8-speed automatic. In terms of...
Let me just stop you there for a second. Because that gear knob there, that little crystal gear knob, is just one of the coolest things that you'll find in the interior of this car. Now the interior, if I may just stop and just briefly touch upon that, interior is still very Volvo, so it's very clean, it's very nice, it's very well sort of laid out, simplistic, but there are some issues which we will get to in a bit. Overall though, I really like the way the interior is all firm and nice, and the Swedish flag reference in the seat there. But yes, coming back to that engine, before I get sidetracked with something completely different, what do you think of it? What do you think of the way it drives?
So it is refined.
Absolutely, that's something that they've been doing really well as well.
So that continues with this new engine as well. Its city manners, they are quite acceptable. It's only when you start pushing it, like post 4,000 RPM, is when you can hear the engine inside. But I don't think most owners would be, pushing.
I don't think most owners really even care because even insulation levels in general are very good.
Yes.
And not just like road noise from the outside, but just tire noise as well. I mean, we're on a pretty average road.
Yes.
I mean, average by Indian standards is a great road, so
Yeah.
but pretty average road nonetheless. You can't really hear much of the tire noise coming through.
Not at all.
So yeah, so I think it is a bit of a subdued cabin, which is a good thing for a Volvo customer. I think that's what they really want. You know, the other thing that I sort of found out when I was driving is it's not an enthusiast engine at all. It doesn't like to be pushed.
Not at all.
It doesn't like to be driven hard. It just likes to be driven gently, and that's, I think, what it really does. So talk about that 48-volt mild hybrid. I'm guessing that's, of course, for emissions, isn't it?
It is for emissions. It also helps the engine in its initial acceleration. So again, a very good thing to have in the city when you are setting off from a red light. It helps you with that acceleration, and that effect tapers down as you gather speed. But nevertheless, it also helps you conserve fuel. And in today's day and age, that is always a good thing.
I've always liked Volvo's vertically placed infotainment screens. Okay, I think they're a great design touch. I think they really brought this into the luxury mainstream and a lot of manufacturers have copied them hence since. This one is great as a screen because it's crisp, the colors are phenomenal, all that's great. But it's an Android operating system. I could not find Apple CarPlay on it. Now, the brochure says that there is Apple CarPlay somewhere, but I just couldn't find it. And in 2021, a car without Apple CarPlay for me is ridiculous, because if an Alto can have Apple CarPlay, this should. I know you can have all the other apps on that screen there, like Google Maps or Spotify or whatever, but I want my phone to mirror on that screen, and that's important to me. I'm not going to change to an Android operating system phone just because my car prefers Android, and I think that's a big oversight from Volvo. And again, we really went through that screen and through that infotainment system trying to find that Apple CarPlay. I couldn't find it, so I don't think it exists in this particular car. Can you add it on? Maybe there's an option, but this particular car doesn't have it, and that annoys me. What doesn't annoy me though is how comfortable this rear seat is. And in true Cyrus fashion, I think Vipul, stay really soft on the gas and make it comfortable for a bit, because again, as you've seen me do on multiple videos, it's nap time at the back.
Cyrus. Hey, you're there? Cyrus.
Look, I'm having my nice beauty sleep in the
Are
back.
you done with your beauty sleep?
Not really. I'm never going to be done with that. But what happened?
Our car here needs some fuel.
Well, it looks like Vipul's been having some fun while I'm asleep, but what I think we need is some quality additivized fuel to make sure that the high-tech engine under the hood of this updated S90 runs cleanly, efficiently, and smoothly. Every time you fuel up, you can earn points and unlock offers in this Shell Asia app, and it also makes it easy to find the nearest fuel station anywhere you go.
You know, it actually unlocks these awesome offers on fuel, and you can get discounts or rewards.
You can also opt for instant redemption or shop with your points to pick up your favorite
from the store.
Alright, so I'll go get a bottle of water.
And I'm going to pay for the fuel.
As we topped up the tank after a fair few days of driving, which included me at the wheel with my hathoda of a leg, and with Vipul at the wheel trying to be as gentle as possible so as to make his best impressions on his first day, I can't help but like this car. Spec to spec, it doesn't drive as well as a 5 Series, and it isn't as comfortable or spacious as the E-Class because it just doesn't have that sheer acreage at the rear. But it still tugs at my heartstrings. It is cool in the same way that my wife thinks shopping from IKEA is cool.
What Cyrus is trying to say is that this car, even with its shortcomings, is most certainly something that you should consider if you are in the market for a 60 to 70 lakh rupees sedan. And we think that the real competition isn't the E-Class or the A6 or the 5 Series, but something that exudes similar coolness, the Lexus ES300H, which incidentally has also been updated recently. So, a new year kicking off with a new me here at PowerDrift. The Volvo is new, its real competition is new, makes for a great new video sometime in the near future, doesn't it?